Whew, another beautiful day. Alright, it's day 16, and I'm watching these videos that I've uploaded, and boy, I am an indecisive bastard, aren't I? I tell you guys I might do one thing one day, and then I don't do it for 3 or 4 days, but, that's the freedom I have out here. I can do it whenever the hell I want, so I start one project and then get distracted and go to another project. That's something you really gotta try to do, is focus and focus and focus, and it can be hard, especially when you're by yourself for long periods of time out in the woods, and you have so many projects going that it's hard to laser focus on things, You gotta really concentrate on it, though. I'm not sure what I'm going to do today. All this stuff that I have sitting in the trail is to remind me to do it today. I got these tree branches I got to cut up into just firewood because they're not good enough to build shelters with or anything. And then we got to plant that pear tree I put in the trail there to make sure I planted that today. I'm not going to bring you guys in for all the work that I'm going to do today. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to do. This platform situation that I'm working on, we're going to take this building apart that the neighbor has soon here, but it really doesn't have enough wood to do anything with. But see, I have these logs laying around that I saved last year, and there's another couple trees that have to come down actually. I actually think I'm going to be building most of this platform with natural wood I have here. I think I'm going to skin a bunch of logs, and the straightest logs I have, I'm going to lay 6 14 to 16 foot logs out, and then we're going to plane the top of them. We'll seed them too with other logs. We'll cut V's in logs. We'll cut V's in some of these big logs and seed them so they're like off the ground, and then flatten them out. I don't know, this is just an idea. This may not actually happen right now, but this is what I'm thinking is gonna happen for the platform, because frankly, I just don't have the money to spend on all this wood. I mean, I was gonna spend $400 on wood, and I already spent $100 on the piping to put the frame together, but it's like, that money will be pretty much all the money I would have for food all summer. And I think I can save the money. I think I can use a bunch of the trees that I'm already taking down, although they were going to be firewood, but if it gets bad enough, we'll just move the tent off of the frame, off of the platform, and cut the platform up into firewood later on this winter if we need to. But I'm sure it won't happen, and either way, the wood's still going to be there, It'll be right under us, and it's going to be off the ground, so it'll just be sitting there, dried logs. That's just what I'm thinking. I'm not really sure how it's going to look. These logs are really, really, really heavy too, and a little too much for me to lift, but I'm going to drag them all over to the spot because I'm thinking that the platform's going to go right here. There's kind of like, it's actually a really high bulge, so once I even out the platform, it definitely is never going to have water coming under it. All the water definitely has full drainage right there. Plus, at that spot right there, if you're sitting out front of the canvas tent, you'll be able to see all the swamp over there and down to the river, and you can see a lot more game. Here's where I have the tent right now. That hill kind of blocks you, especially when the trees grow in. You can't really see out there too well. But that's just stuff I'm thinking of here and trying to figure out what I'm doing. I'm working with what I got out here, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to find more work eventually later this summer or at some point here, but right now I'm just working on what I got. We also have a stash capsule that's been buried for a year that we're gonna dig up in the next couple days here. It'll probably be part of this episode here. We'll dig it up and see how it went. It has like a little rice in it, it has a knife in it, it might have a fire steel in it, and it has a piece of silver, a silver bar in it, a large silver bar, which I want because we're probably going to have to cash it in for money at some point this year. And I have some nicer, higher end silver pieces that I'm going to rebury that I'm going to keep, because that one that's in there is just a 10-ounce bar, which is just bullion, and it's better to keep the small increments just in case, you know. I have lots of 1 ounce bars that I'd rather keep that are nicer. So I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens. I know DC's Adventures Off the Grid experiment is a crazy one, but I'm enjoying myself, and I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. And sorry if some of the shots are really shaky. And yeah, I wanted to show you this actually. So all the shots that I do with the when I was planting the apple tree, this is the tripod I made. Pretty crazy tripod, huh? And you just rest the iPad in this little slot here, and there's a rope that goes around it and ties it there, and then you tighten the rope to get your angle. I also have another stick that has just some arms in it that I stick in the ground, like that's a stake. Here, let's go see it. Although it's dark in here. Where is it? Here we go. I also use this. You stick it into the ground and put the iPad in here with the rope around it, and yeah, that's how I get the shots of the plants and stuff now. Because, I mean, obviously when you're holding the camera, doing POV in all your scenes, it's going to be a lot shaky. So like when I need to do some close-up shots, you can't hold the camera. You have to put it on some sort of stand. So these are what I use for stands. So when I'm saying I'm using my tripods, these are what I'm using. Well, alright. Day 16. Let's see what we can get into. Alright, it's evening of day 16, and I'm about to go bring the iPad up to the neighbor's house so I can upload an episode. So, I quickly wanted to talk to you a little bit about this canned meat thing that I mentioned earlier, because I'm about to open, after I drop off the iPad, I'm gonna cook dinner, and I'm gonna be cooking tonight. I have it in the bear canister for no particular reason. It just, this smaller canister is the one I usually put all the canned meat in. But tonight I am going to be cooking Spam with rice. You guys are probably like, wow, this guy's gonna die of a heart attack with the stuff he's been eating lately. But I eat rice, you know, for 2 or 3 days in a row, and potatoes with nothing else. And then once a week have about macaroni and cheese, and then I try to get some sort of meat product in 3 days a week, especially if I'm working a lot, because trying to build some muscle here. So Spam's a great option. You know, when you don't have refrigeration, you have to eat some canned meat sometimes. It's the only way, you know, if you're going to bring supplies out to a camping area for like 30 to 90 days for some sort of expedition, you're going to have to pack some canned meat, or you're not going to be eating any meat. Or maybe you'll be hunting, but otherwise you won't be eating any meat. So I'll show you the options. I have a few things that I like to eat as far as canned meat goes, and I'll also talk at the end here about things that I don't like to eat, but are also options you can carry. So we got Spam here, and then this is probably my favorite thing that comes in a can. This corned beef hash, which is potatoes and some corned beef in a can, and this stuff's pretty good, and you just fry it up, and I fry it to death. I fry it until it's all crispy and completely so cooked. There's nothing mushy in it. I like it really crunchy. So we got that. My dad used to eat Vienna sausages when I was a kid, and I thought they were so disgusting, and then he let me try one, and I still thought they were disgusting, but then he got these barbecue ones one time, and he was like, oh, these are way better, you should try one of these. And I tried one, and they were actually pretty good, but that was when I was a kid. And then I was a vegetarian for 7.5 years, and I never thought I would have been eating Vienna sausages ever again. But when I head out for the woods last year, I decided I'd get a couple cans. And when you're working all day and you don't feel like cooking anything, but you've been lifting all day and your muscles are burning, you know you want to eat some meat, this actually works out pretty good. You eat a bowl of rice and then just eat a can of these, and you feel pretty good actually, and you know, you feel some recovery happening. So I got a couple cans of that, and then I got a can of this pouch of this tuna fish. So that's another thing about canned meats, is all canned meats don't come in a can anymore. Some of them come in a pouch, and these are pretty good. This is the lemon pepper one, and this I can eat. I can mix with macaroni and cheese or pasta and sprinkle cheese, or mix it with rice and sprinkle cheese, and it tastes pretty good. This lemon pepper one tastes pretty good with just about everything, and you can eat it right out of the pouch. This one's pretty good. Usually I don't like tuna fish unless I'm going to have it mixed with mayonnaise on crackers or on a sandwich, but that lemon pepper one's pretty good by itself. Obviously can't keep mayonnaise very easily if you're going to be out in the woods with no refrigeration. I don't like to maintain ice. Obviously, if you're maintaining ice, you're going to have to buy it from somewhere, or have a neighbor or something that's nice enough to let you freeze bottles over there, which is, you know, my neighbor lets me freeze bottles over there, which helps out a lot. But a lot of the time I don't like to maintain ice. So those are the options that I usually deal with. I don't really deal with any other meat products other than that right there. But smoked salmon comes in a can, and people love that stuff, and you can do all kinds of stuff with that. There's sardines. I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to eat sardines and mustard, and sardines in olive oil, and lots of people like those. All those fish in a can, especially foreigners I see on the trail hiking and eating all that stuff all the time. I just really can't stomach sardines and other fish like that. Let's see, what else is there? I mean, that's pretty much it, you know. There's the sardines, and there's the salmon, and there's a couple other beef products, corned beef products that you can get. None of them I really fancy too much. That's pretty much all the stuff that I eat. And even the Vienna sausages here, you can only eat so many of those. After you've eaten a couple cans, you're like, okay, I don't want any more of those for a couple weeks. But Spam's pretty good. If you fry it up properly, Spam can be pretty good. Just tastes like ham. And you can make sandwiches and stuff with that. Tonight we're going to fry it up and then put it in with some rice. Cut it up in cubes and then fry it up. Should be pretty good. But yeah, there you go. There's what I've been thinking about as far as the canned meat thing goes, and I just wanted to put that out there, because when you're living in a canvas tent and you don't have refrigeration, you're probably going to have to carry some canned meat, and especially if you're trying to store up for, like, you're going to go out for a whole summer to do something in the woods. You're going to have to bring canned meat. You can't rely on hunting and everything the whole time. So yeah, there it is. And I'm going to bring the iPad down to upload, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good day, YouTubers. Jeez, it's day 18. You might ask what happened to day 17. Well, my buddy came up and chilled with me, and we just sat back and relaxed all day, drank some beers, you know, hung out, and didn't get very much done. But it's day 18. See this pole here? This is the spot that's cleared for the platform. I've kind of decided what I'm going to do with the platform here. I think we're going to put some 14 to 16 foot logs out and level them out with 4 or 5 logs underneath them and get them off the ground. And we'll probably take the draw knife out and try to flatten the top side off. So some plywood will fit down, but we're gonna probably just probably gonna put this frame together out of natural material. If it doesn't work, then I'll have to end up buying something, but I think I can at least frame the platform with natural material, and then maybe we'll cover it in some subfloor or something. You'll see, I'll show you. It's gonna be a long, drawn out build here. So I'll probably just bring you guys in as it comes along, but I'll show you how it comes along, because I got to put 6 logs down plus the 4 logs that are going the opposite direction all the way down. and we're gonna have to put logs under those to level it out, because we need it to be level. It's gonna start at the back here. It's gonna start at the back here and then go forward with a little bit of a porch hanging off, and it should be pretty nice. That's where the 2 foxholes are that they abandoned, and you can see a lot of game. You can see a lot of everything off of this area. That's why I decided I should put camp here for the rest of the year once we get the platform set up. But yeah, day 18, I'll bring you guys back if anything interesting. I'm pretty much just washing laundry in a bucket right now, and gonna be hanging laundry out and stuff. It's kind of a chore day after hanging out doing nothing yesterday, just partying with my buddy. Well, I'll see you. I'll bring you back when something interesting's happening, alright? Got the laundry hanging out on the line there, and just cooked brunch on the Espit stove. Espit stoves work great. I really like them. I know real men like to cook on the fire, but the fact is sometimes you just can't use your fire. And right now, we're actually in a red zone right now, or they have the red flag up over at the fire station here, and they're cracking down. They're not letting they don't want anybody having fires, which I try to respect that. You know, it's really dry out here, and there's a lot of dry leaf litter, and you know, have a fire really easy. When you're hiking in most places, especially backpacking a long distance on trails, you really shouldn't be using a fire anyways. So these Espit stoves are great, and I have my penny stove, alcohol stove I use. It's a pretty small one, but this thing fits in the Espit stove, and a pan can still fit under it, and that's enough. That's enough alcohol fits in that thing to cook some pasta and cook some rice and do all the stuff I usually do, so it's big enough. Most of California you can't have fires, open fires either, so you pretty much got to use something like that. So they work out good in the canvas tent. Espit cubes are pretty low emissions, and I use them indoors. You shouldn't use them in a completely enclosed place. Obviously the door is opened here right in front of us. Alcohol stove, I use alcohol stoves in enclosed places and even indoors sometimes, but only if I'm using Everclear. If you use Everclear 190 proof, that stuff burns so clean, you won't have any soot on your pan, there'll be nothing in the air. You'll be pretty good. I mean, you need some circulation. You can distill carbon monoxide that you can't see in the air, so you gotta have some circulation, but these work good. I mean, there it goes. I'm gonna finish eating right now, but we got rice and sausage over there, and all cooked up on the Espit stove today. So still day 18, trying to get some chores done and get some work done. Alright, evening 18. It's just been a long day of chores and yard work, but I found this. I actually found it the other day, and it's really interesting because it's like a cocoon, and I don't know if you can see in there, but inside all it looks like is, I don't know, looks like a bunch of debris or something that's just been broken up. It's all like hairy looking in there. We can hear this. When you rattle it, it rattles like a little, like there's a rattle in it. I don't know what's in it. Some sort of cocoon. I can't tell if the animal has hatched out of it and left it already, but it's in such perfect condition it's hard to believe that an animal escaped this. But this was on a tree, so this is a branch of a tree, and it takes the leaf before it falls off and cocoons itself into it. And I don't know how it keeps the leaf from falling off the tree, so I would think that the leaf would fall off the tree. Unless this is some camouflage and it's not actually a leaf, it's a cocoon, and it just is made to look like a leaf. But I think it's a leaf that this thing uses for a cocoon. But if anybody knows what the heck this is and what the deal is, if you could put some links in the comments below or tell me what it is in the comments, it'd be much appreciated. But evening 18, gonna fix some dinner, and I'll see you on day 19. Well, day 21, and I've been working on the platform a little bit, cutting trees the last couple days, and then removing all the stuff from that. And by the end of the day, I should have the platform kind of laid out so I can show you what my plan is here. But I just want to wait until I get all the logs together, because it's just a lot of hauling 400 or 500 pound logs right now. But still cooking on the Espit stove. It's been like 3 days I've been cooking on the Espit stove, and I have a stash box of survival gear buried on the property, and I'm running out of Espit cubes, but I know that there's a couple packs in there, so I'll probably need to dig that up at some point this week. But it works pretty good. I mean, a couple Espit cubes, I cook some sausage on, or boil some pasta, or do whatever I'm doing, and it's still really high fire risk right now where I'm at. So we're trying not to have any fires outside, and it's been too warm definitely to have any fire on the stove inside, but it's kind of rainy and overcast today and kind of cold, so maybe we'll bust out the wood stove later on. It's a lot safer than the fire is. But we're still in a red flag for fires right now. So cooking on the Espit stove. So I'm gonna have some breakfast here, sausage and toast, and then we're gonna head out to I think we gotta drop another tree, limb it, haul all that stuff to the debris pile, and then we should have enough logs put together for the frame of this platform. So I'll see y'all later. Alright, night of day 21. Just been working on the property and cutting trees, and I don't know, I'm looking at this platform, but it just looks like I'm using so much firewood that I just don't know if I can actually do it. It's probably cheaper to buy the dimensional lumber and build it than to use this much firewood, but tomorrow I'm going to look at it again and make my decision. I might just cut it all up into firewood or not. I'm going to lay a couple logs and see how it's going to look. But evening of 21, and I'm cooking some food. Elbow pasta's almost done, and I have a can of sauce, or a jar of sauce I can put in there. But I'm about to try out a new system. I just mixed some biscuit up, a little mini bannock or a biscuit, we'll see. But these are a pair of really small pans that I got, and they're pretty cool, and I've got a little oil in them. I'm trying to spread around here, and I'm going to put them together just like we always do, and I'm going to put a little aluminum foil around a couple of the edges so that it doesn't open up, and I'm going to put them in the coals to see how it goes. So I'll bring you guys back to show you how it looks, because I think this is going to be what I carry to cook bannock in when I'm hiking from now on, because it's just as light as the pie pans, and it's a lot smaller, but you can just do a couple of them, you know. They cook a lot quicker in this, so let's see how it comes out. I'll be right back. Alright, let's take a look at this. Not bad, huh? These pans work pretty good, but it looks like we have some burnt. Oh yeah, it's burnt on the bottom, but that's my fault. I didn't put any rocks under the coals. You really need a little space between the coals and the pan. You don't want to set it right on them. I usually put some rocks down, some little stones, and put it on there, but I didn't because I was just lazy. So I'm going to have to eat around the burnt spot, but there we go. Sweet little pans, huh? These are definitely coming hiking with me. Alright, it's 8 o'clock on 21 still, and I just went down to the river to see if there's any animals hiding behind my usual tree, and I don't know, I heard some kids or something up on the track, so I went back up to camp. And I went up to camp, and I wasn't being quiet at all, but I was standing at camp at the back of my camp behind everything, kind of on the trail, just looking around. And like probably 130-pound doe walked right up the hill towards the cabin, or towards the canvas tent. And I was just really quiet, and it kind of turned, it saw the canvas tent, so it started going back down the hill, and I got down really low, and I like followed it down the trail all the way to the river, and I was probably about 20-30 feet behind it the whole time. And I managed to just stay on the trail, and it was really quiet, and stay really low and hide behind a bunch of these trees we have half cut down. And yeah, she didn't even notice me until we got all the way to the river. It was awesome. Something I forgot to mention too is last night, right before it got dark, I went down to the river and I was hiding behind the tree, and I was kind of just leaning against the tree and didn't think any action was going to happen, and then 2 ducks came into view way ahead of me, and there was a big debris pile, so I just stood really still, and they swam under the debris pile, and then they came up, and they were doing all these mating dance neck bends and everything like that, and it was I don't know, the male duck was brown and had like a mohawk thing, or maybe that was the female duck, and the other duck was white with black spots, or black with white spots, and I think that had like a mohawk too on it. Yeah, they were pretty cool. I should look them up. I'll look them up and find out what kind of birds they were. But yeah, 21. It's a crazy night. That deer was huge. I was so close to it. I definitely had if I had a rifle, I would have had at least a dozen clear shots at that thing. But I usually don't hunt for does. Alright, see you guys tomorrow. Alright, it's day 22. Actually, it's night at 22. It's Mother's Day, so for all my mother subscribers, happy Mother's Day. I spent the day actually hanging out with the neighbors, meeting her whole family, and having some drinks and enjoying a barbecue. It's really great to have nice neighbors. But, like I said, day 22, I believe. And I don't know if you can see the clouds up there, but the weather's finally moving in, and it looks like I can hear the thunder, so it looks like we might get some rain, which we really need. I haven't even been able to have a fire out here for almost a week now, and it's super dry, which is really weird because spring in Maine is usually very wet. If you remember last season, season 1 of Off the Grid, it rained the entire time I was out. The whole 31 days it pretty much rained. But yeah, the weather's coming in. We'll see if it turns into rain. Just in case it doesn't, I watered the apple tree and the pear tree. And yeah, let's hope some rain comes through. And tomorrow, yeah, after hauling these 400-pound logs over here to build a platform, I think I have decided that it's just too much of a waste of firewood, and I think I'm going to cut it all up into firewood tomorrow, sharpen my saw one more time and cut it up into firewood, and that'll be at least half of my firewood for this winter. And so if I want to come out here during this winter, if I'm out here for any period of time, at least have the wood already here. And I'm just going to have to go. I'm going to have to find some work, or I'm going to have to change in some of my silver and gold investments to build this platform. We'll see, but I'm thinking about going on a hike when I break down the tent in a couple weeks here and go on a little bit of a hike, but I don't know. I don't want to promise you guys anything quite yet. But it should be, I need to get out of here. I think every 30 to 60 days I'm going to go and do some sort of fun trip, and that'll kind of break up being out here for so many days. Well, 21, I'll see you on 23, alright guys? Alright, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but the storm has started. It's about 8 o'clock, but it's already pouring rain. Let's just hope it keeps on going till tomorrow, and that should be pretty good to keep us nice and wet out here. Alright, it's May 10th or May 11th. I just dug up this package that I put out here last year, and we're gonna see. The bag had a little bit of water in it, but we'll see. I don't think the PVC is gonna have any in it, so let's see. There she blows. looks pretty dry. I'm going to have to make some sort of tool to open her up because she's not going to open up easily. Alright, I think it fits now. Yep, there you go. Oh, it turns easy. I thought I was going to have to stand on it. But that thing worked good. There it is. Yeah, it's dry inside, so I have to, well, yeah, well, I don't know, it doesn't feel completely dry. It feels cold, like condensation, but I don't know, it's dry. There's a knife in here and it's dry, there's no rust or anything on it. Candle in there, bag of rice. I put a bunch of stuff in here so I could see what happens to it. What I'm after. Some bling. So this worked good. 4-inch, this is a 3-inch I think actually, PVC pipe. And yeah, I just used the stuff you usually use when you put them underground. Use a cover. I used some thread lock on this though to keep the cover sealed. And put it in a trash bag too. And then buried it 2 or 3 feet under. But it's a good way to stash some stuff on your property and have a little bit of food stashed, a survival knife, a fire steel, and whatever else, a little bit of money maybe, some change or whatever, depending on what you want to risk out here. So there we go, there's the capsule. We're going to put it back in the ground, put a note in it saying we opened it today, and I don't know, I guess we'll probably check on it in 5 years.